Thanks for downloading the Stuck in the Middle podcast, brought to you by 237 Exclusive Radio, bringing you that Afrobeats right to your mobile device. Download the app free of charge in your mobile store. And also by New Horizon International, bringing you quality African food you can trust. From cassava leaves to ndole, bobola, ugu, ugazi, plenty more. Serving you the taste of home. New Horizon International, quality you can trust.
Welcome to another episode of Stuck in the Middle. I'm Sir Hans.
AK. Reflex, man. You're part of this team now.
What's that producer?
You need to start introducing
Bro, the
yourself.
protocol was you guys. All right, I'm Reflex. RIFLEX with a big X.
Today is a Sunday, you know what I mean? Bless up like we always do on Sunday.
You already know.
Yeah, man.
That was a weekend. The weekend was lit, man. Listen, we had the first Stuck in the Middle podcast forum, mental health. People came out. It was love. Appreciate
Mad
it.
love, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
The topics were great.
It was one topic, but the discussion was great.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we could get down to, the politics of it, when the dude, broke it down from mental health to mental illness.
To scoliosis and neurotics and all kind of stuff.
But anyways, man.
I'm like, all right, bro. But for Yahoo, who couldn't make it out, we know it's recorded, audio and visual, and it's gonna be out soon. So
Definitely.
and part 2 coming too. So
Yeah.
We'll pick a thing or two from that.
yes, sir. Hey, AK man, let them know who got the building today,
Hey,
man.
shit. Today, man, is fire. Y'all
On the
gonna hear a
mountain.
lot, man. We're gonna hear a lot. We're gonna learn a lot. But, today we got a very special guest. He's none other than DJ Claude,
Hey.
Thank you all so much for having me. I appreciate y'all. How's everybody doing?
We good. How you
Good,
doing?
man.
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Everything's all right.
Thanks for coming out,
Thanks
Claude.
for coming out, man. I know we started late. We apologize for that.
No, it's all
You
right.
know.
It's all right.
Definitely.
Man, I have to
But-
go, get my worship on. So I'm just kidding.
DJ Claude, man. I didn't do a good job introducing you, but please tell us who DJ Claude
You did
is.
a great job, man. I'm a very humble man. DJ Claude. Actually, I don't even like the title DJ. I just go by Claude DiMartian. Or
Why not?
I feel like DJ puts me in a box. I do more than just DJing. I see myself more as an entertainer, as a musical therapist. You know what I mean? Like I don't look at myself as just spinning records because off the show we were talking about the Whiskey thing. I didn't even touch the turntables. Thing, you know what I mean? So that's why I don't actually like the title DJ. When most people meet me, actually, I'm just Claude.
Claude DiMartian.
Yeah.
Claude DiMartian.
That's a
like that.
How did you
Like
come up
that.
with that name?
Where's the
Oh,
Martian coming from?
man. What a story.
We gotta let the people know,
I'll
man.
give you all the short version. College, Morgan State.
Shout out to Morgan State.
Yeah,
bro.
college, Morgan State. I met this girl. She was from the Bahamas. Very, very pretty girl. I'm married, by the way, so yeah.
Shout out. Man. I saw the bang.
Very, very pretty girl, but so back in those days when I was starting to, really taking DJ seriously, a lot of people were not DJing and holding the mic at the same time. Most parties, I don't know, y'all should remember this. You had a DJ and then you had
Hype
a
man.
hype
Hype
man.
man,
yeah.
Exactly. So from the jump, I was DJing and holding the mic at the same time. So one day,
Which is a skill.
yeah, actually, I would like to think so. So, she came to me at the end of one party. It was like, "Yo, how do you do that? Like, do you have an extra hand that come out of your chest? Are you a Martian?" And then from there, it picked up. Like she kept calling me Martian. Everybody around kept calling me Martian and Claude the Martian.
Birth.
Is that who you married to?
Nah,
Oh.
it's not. It's not. Believe me, she reminds me of that every time.
Man, so how long have you been in the entertainment business?
About 10 years.
10 years.
When I look back at it and I had to narrow down a date, I said 2007 was when I actually said, okay, let me try this. So This year I'm actually celebrating 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what transpired? Because you say you was going to Howard, right?
No, Morgan State.
Morgan State.
Not Howard. I'm not cool enough to go to Howard.
Morgan State. So what transpired for you to like say, oh yo, I'm gonna take this DJing thing serious?
I'm gonna just go back to the snippet that I just posted on my IG this past week. Pretty much, never forget this. It was March of maybe 2009. I mean, I started DJing before that, but I didn't really. It was kind of like, okay, this is a cool thing to do. You know, going to school and pretty much had a day job. So March of, I want to say 2009, either 2009 or 2010. Obama was first elected when? 09?
08.
08? Okay, so it had to be 09. When they hired me as a part-time management at that moment. So they wanted more hours at that time for me. And I was like, yo, school is going to be done for me in April. Give me like a month and I'll give you more time. And I don't know if y'all remember, I think it was actually 2009. There was a really, really huge snowstorm that happened down here.
Yeah. 09.
So, exactly. So I used to work in D.C. and I lived in Baltimore due to Morgan State. So that commute, think about it, like at least 3 to 4 times a week was
hectic.
Yeah.
Very hectic.
So when the snowstorm came, I literally could not move. And obviously, they don't care about stuff like that.
Yeah,
so they were not too happy and they're like, yeah, we got to let you go. And literally, very few people know this about me. That summer was like the roughest summer of my life. Like I lost my car. I wasn't in good terms with my family at that time. So I was kind of homeless. You know what I mean? Like I went through it. And that feeling made me tell myself that I am never, ever going to feel like that. So I'm never, ever going to work for somebody again in that capacity. So took DJing seriously and yeah, here we go.
Kudos to you, man. I saw that video you posted. He was like, yo, I never want, if I want to eat lobster and drink champagne, I never want it to be that somebody have to write me a check for it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, that touched me because that's the kind of mentality I had. It's like, yo.
That kind of took me, like, for me, when I seen it took me to DJ's, Puff Daddy's Don't Stop, Won't Stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had, like, that direct similarity, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, go work for your own, man, because that's the only way you could be financially, liberated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, tell us, give us a journey. Like, you got laid off.
Yeah,
you got laid off.
Right.
You kind of homeless and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, in your head, you said, yo, I don't never want to work for nobody no more. Like, what did you start planning? What was your thought process from there?
Well, at that time, like, the only thing really I had, was DJing. And I was already at a point where I would get a lot of bookings, but because of my day job, it was kind of like, I'll take it when I feel like it.
Right.
So I was literally on hustle and grind mode. So everything that came my way, I took it. Mm-hmm. Not only did I take it, but my mentality at that moment was any DJ that comes across my path, I am going to dominate you. Like, because by the time this party is over, everybody in there is going to know that, yo, if we have anything, we need to call this guy instead. So that was literally my mentality. And at that time, even my phone got cut off because literally the last amount of money I had in my pocket, I said, I'm going to buy some speakers. I'm going to buy, a DJ system, whatever, and just go ahead and do what I got to do, And shout out to my girl at that time, phone calls were coming through her. You know what I mean? Like I had to, tell people, hey, if you're trying to reach me, Facebook was pretty popping at that time. So everybody was very on that Facebook, sending you messages, which was the good thing about it. So people would send me messages like, hey, are you busy? We got this, we got that. Like that summer, literally on a given maybe Friday or Saturday, I could do like 4 parties in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was my mentality. I did that literally from that April all the way through August when school started. And by the time school started, my next thing was, okay, I was already doing a lot of things in Morgan State, Baltimore, whatnot. So I said, my next thing, I got to take over like all the African associations in the DMV.
Yeah.
So, and that's exactly what happened. Like, I started DJing for every major ASA in the DMV: Bowie State, College Park, Howard, Towson, Coppin, Johns Hopkins. Like, it got
UMES.
Yeah, UMES, exactly. Salisbury. Yeah. I mean, it got to a point where I even started getting businesses from other organizations in these schools. Like, I did Latin gigs from their Latin Student Association, Caribbean Student Association. I've even done, at some point, off of like doing those things, I did a Serbian wedding.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of music?
Yeah.
What kind of music?
Serbian music, bro.
You going to say hottest Serbian artists out there?
I had to, I had to. But the thing that always worked to my advantage, and that's why I tell everybody, like, the best thing about me is the fact that I'm from Cameroon. I don't know if we're ready to get to that. Did I answer the initial
Keep
question?
going.
Okay.
Keep going.
So, why is me being from Cameroon the best thing, and what I believe at this point makes me the best DJ out there? Is because Cameroon is the heart of Africa to begin with. Cameroon
That's
is
bold.
it is.
Yeah, okay.
Cameroon is the heart of Africa, and Cameroon, we speak English and French.
Right.
The fact that I have the ability to stand in front of 1,000 people and understand what's happening in Francophone music and understand what's happening in Anglophone music, it's a luxury that not too many DJs out here have. Because it's one thing to just play music, but it's another thing to actually understand it.
That's true.
And once you understand it, someone like me that holds a microphone pretty well, I know how to play on those things. So it opens up such a wide variety of, like, the word is mine.
Exactly.
To that.
Exactly.
So and another thing about Cameroonians, we're very open-minded to music. I think I have to say we're one country that's so open. We listen to Ivorian music, Congolese music, South African music, East African music.
Yeah.
Another thing that I beat these guys on.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Man, like, you transited from being a DJ to becoming a hype man. Can I say hype man?
I guess, sure.
You still
For the
DJ,
sake
though.
of title. Yeah. I DJ, definitely.
So what does it take to actually be that, that person? I mean, first off, you got to be a great DJ.
Yeah,
to say, you know what, I'm not going to touch the turntables.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the mic.
Yeah.
To dominate, people who actually, their day job is to, hold the mic and stuff, to come in and push them out and say, yo, you know what, I'm going to take over your lane. Like, how did you get to that? Like, what made you feel like I could really do this? Other than that, you're Cameroonian.
It's confidence and hunger, man. It's confidence and hunger because, I always look at life as in, I'm sitting here talking to y'all today. I don't know what's happening tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's happening next week.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yesterday, I didn't know what was happening today. You know what I mean? I didn't know I was going to come here and make the reflex I've heard about, quite a few times. You know what I mean? So that's always my mentality. So if I'm here right now, I'm going to try it. If I fail, it's only two ways. I can either look at what I did wrong and make it better or say, you know what, I'm going to move away from this. But 95% of the time, I don't move away from it. I learn from it, see what I can do better, and let's do it again.
Man, now that you just said that, right, I was waiting, to ask you this question later down the pod, but here in Stuck in the Middle, we showcase the movers and shakers in the community.
Okay.
And we also, try to, tell people that when you're low, you don't have to stay there. You could always pick yourself up, provided you learn from what actually took you there. Absolutely. So can you tell us a moment in time when, you had to fight between two worlds, say...
especially you being a DJ,
right.
That's not something that's common coming out of African homes. Say, yo, and to hear, I didn't know that you went to Morgan, and to hear that you went to Morgan, what did you study in Morgan?
English.
Yeah.
To
hear that you went to Morgan, and then the parents come by and say, hey, I'm doing this DJ thing. You know what I mean? That's
exactly.
crazy thing for your family to find out and know that, yo, my son is a DJ, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're not going to look like, yo, your son is out here being a DJ and he's like blowing up around the DMV area, you know what I mean?
They'll come around when you start blowing up, but initially it's like,
Yeah,
what are you
initially,
doing?
obviously. Yeah. So, I mean, even with that, you know, if you remember earlier, I was saying when I got fired and all that, I wasn't in a good space with my family, and that was due to that. You know, obviously the African mentality is go to school, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a this, you know, but don't be a DJ. Don't be a rapper. Don't be a producer. We don't want that because that's not a sure bet. You know, I hope the next statement I'm about to make, they're not going to crucify me, but Africans, we just always want to play it safe. You know, we always want to play it safe. And I believe that is why Africa today is where it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, with that, I wasn't in a good space with them because it was like, okay, you have to do school. You have to do school. Prior to even, you know, going to Morgan State, I went through a period where I didn't go to school for like a year and a half due to financial reasons. You know, so literally I was like, I'm on my own out here. So I'm going to do what I have to do to make this work. You know, it wasn't actually till recently, maybe 2 years ago, I did Fest Africa, where I'm part of, you know, the committee for Fest Africa, which is the largest African festival in the DMV.
Oh, yeah, Silver Spring?
Yeah, there you go.
Man, I had to talk to you at this
So, so I did Fest Africa about 2 years ago when I was doing it, and that was like the first time my dad actually saw me like working.
Yeah.
So prior to that, they'll have some things where my mom will go to the bank, like the teller will see her last name, like, yo, are you know, DJ Woo Woo Woo's mom? She's like,
what are you talking about?
yeah, you know, and my dad to like some of his friends, like asking him, oh, you know, my daughter said your son is the DJ she wants for her graduation. So after those couple of things happened, things started clicking in their head to say, okay, you know, something is happening there. We need to figure out what is happening there. But prior to that, he was like, no, you need to go to school. This DJ thing is temporary, right? Like, you know, and then when the DJing paid for, you know, my way through Morgan State, paid for a car, you know, paid for an apartment, because when I was in college, I lived pretty good. And I'm not saying this to boast, but it's simply to show that what DJing did for me. You know, I lived better than some people that have 9 to 5 or going to work every day, you know, being the good, you know, corporate America guy.
Right. Yeah.
And all I had to do was to wake up on Friday and go and, you know, spin a couple of records and make people dance.
Gotta keep your ear in the street though. Like, you know, as far as I want to get into like the music, if you don't mind. Like,
go ahead.
Before Friday comes around, you
right,
gotta know what's hot throughout the week. So like, talk a
absolutely.
little bit about it. How you know what I'm saying? Like, do you play what's just hot, or what you feeling?
No. I'm one of those DJs. I give a chance to like a lot of just different music. You know, West Africans. I was saying earlier about Cameroonians being so open-minded to, you know, music. West Africans as a whole, i.e., Nigerians. Sorry, don't want to knock y'all. Ghanaians. They don't care for Francophone music. They don't care for South African music. They don't care for East African music. But the fact that, you know, I'm willing to sit there and actually listen to those things, it opens a whole different market to me for that already. But musically, literally, if I wake up on Mondays. Mondays are what I consider like my day off. You know, I don't want to take no phone call on Monday. Don't call me. Don't text me unless you're like a friend of mine. Because on Monday I have my laptop and I'm just listening to music. You know, I'm on Apple Music, I'm on YouTube, I'm on SoundCloud. People always send me music. You know, if someone sends me music, you can send me music from like 2 years ago. I'm always going to be checking up on seeing what you got new. You know, and when I listen to it, because I mean, I would like to think I was fortunate to also have a good ear for music. So when I listen to the song, I can tell, okay, this can make it. And this it might not make it. So at least I would take your record, go to the club that that Friday or Thursday, whenever, my week start, and I'll play it and see how people react to it. And depending on how they react to it, I'll play it again. If they don't really react to it, chances are I'll wait till like 2 days later, maybe a different club, and say, okay, let me try it there. And if that doesn't work there, then yeah, your record is dead.
Yeah.
So being that you just said that, like, who will you say, like, an artist that you've played that you break in the club?
Oh, if Tufan if they're ever like honest about it, I booked them in DC. Every major Tufan record in DC, I booked them. Definitely. So.
Man, they hot right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they hot right now. Who? Like you, because I was we were talking, preparing for the pod yesterday, and he was like, "You just DJ at Stonefish."
Right.
Was it last week?
Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm there every Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, so every Saturday.
Every Saturday. Yeah. That's one.
You
of my
have like
residencies.
collaborations with like lounges and clubs, or you just like open for like
No, I have residencies. Yeah, I have a Friday residency at Park and a Saturday residency at Stonefish. The other ones that are happening right now, no disrespect to the promoter, I don't want to call it a residency because I feel like it's a summer party. Let's see when it gets cold. If it survives, then, cool. Oh, actually, Wednesday is where I have a residency with Rose Bar. Oh, okay. So definitely Wednesday.
Is it like a outdoor thing, or is it indoor as well?
No, most of those, indoors.
Okay.
Well, the Sunday, so rooftop. So indoor, outdoor.
Yeah.
Type. So, yeah.
Like how artists have like so like indie labels and stuff, like so like under the DJs have that as well, like or it's just you,
no,
like
it's
like a conglomerate of DJs where it's like if I hit up DJ Barack right now, depending on like the caliber of the party, he might send like one of in his group somebody to go handle that, like depending on like your budget.
Right. Well, I have a group. The group is called TagSoundz. A group of 7 DJs right now.
That's deep.
Yes, 7 DJ. I don't like to put it into that term of, depending on how much, the way I've always looked, which is another aspect of me. If I'm eating, all my friends have to eat.
Facts.
Like if I have $1, we're all in that dollar together. So if I'm, taking the price up, it's not just for me, it's for all of us. So if I'm charging you $2,500 and I'm not available, you're not paying the next guy $1,300. That same $2,500 apply. Which is another thing I feel like a lot of DJs do wrong. Just because you're unavailable and you send someone else does not mean that they got to take a pay cut. I don't think that's fair. Because at the end of the day, they're still going out there to perform. They might not perform to my ability, but they're still going out there to perform.
Right.
And as long as they get the job done, because at the end of the day, it's always about producing. You have to produce. So if you're producing still at 100, and I was planning on coming there and give 150, you should still get that money. So that's just how I look at it.
Yeah. You said, did you create TagSoundz?
Yeah, I was actually part of the creators for
How did that
TagSoundz.
come about?
We were a group of guys that just used to go to parties, man. We used to go to Love nightclub, especially when Love was 18 back in the days. Love, Platinum, H2O, all those things.
Ibiza.
Yeah, Ibiza, exactly.
Man,
so we used to go to those clubs. Yeah, man, we used to go to those clubs, and it used to bother us a lot that, obviously they don't play African music, but the closest thing was like reggae. You know what I mean? So when we heard that one reggae song, we're like, oh, it's our turn. And then it would be like 2 songs and that's it. But it got, especially Love nightclub, it got to a point there that we started, it was just like 4 of us going there. And it got to a point where it was maybe like 20 of us going there. We had like a section on the dance floor where nobody, if we weren't there, people don't even stand there because they're like, oh yeah, those guys, they're going to come there. Like, so everybody knew us. One day, I don't know, somebody, as the club was ending, somebody was like, oh, Team Africa away. So Team Africa, all of us were like, okay, cool, we're all leaving. And the next time we came around, we sat down together and said, yo, we need to like really do a group, we're always partying, we're always going out. Let's do something because we know what our people want. You know, we know what type of music our people want. Obviously, when we go to these mainstream clubs, especially back then, they were not getting that. So let's do some events here and there, and you know, and that was actually 2006. So that was literally right before I started, you know, really DJing. So we just started doing events, and we started by Team Africa, and out of the 4 of us, one of them was going to Bowie State, 2 went to Towson, I went to Morgan. So once we started doing, you know, the Caribbean Student Association, other things, you know, the other groups that were not Africans, we realized that, okay, we're not just Team Africa, you know. So we said, okay, Team Africa Global. But even at that, after a while, we realized that, okay, we're doing these parties. At our parties, we still play hip-hop. You know, we still have a lot of Americans that come through and whatever. But the fact when we put in on that flyer, Team Africa Global, some Americans are like, it's going to be that African stuff. We don't want it. Although, you know, some of them would take a chance and like, yo, the party was crazy. They were playing hip-hop. They were playing everything. So we moved from Team Africa Global to just make it TAG. That's where TagSoundz came from. So TagSoundz at its core still is Team Africa Global. Okay. But it's more marketable to say TagSoundz.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
I hope I answered.
So y'all was the one who ushered in that era where we started having like clubs having certain days set out for like the African community.
Well, let me not say we were the one. The main person I have to give him, you know, that DJ Chick. I don't know if you guys have heard DJ Chick. DJ Chick is actually the guy who took that into, you know, prime club, you know, like mainstream clubs. So he gets the credit for that. Like, at least I would say we get the credit for coming in there and pushing it to a whole, you know, to a whole different level, you know, because especially on the college level, nobody was doing that.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's either you had an American party, a Caribbean party, or an African party.
Right.
But they were not together. Right. So in Baltimore, we were known for that. We literally created that in Baltimore. It was not happening before us.
Yeah, man. Everybody could have a space where they, you know, can enjoy themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
music is universal.
It is. Like, I never heard you. I heard of a silent party.
Yeah.
Man, I just heard about that like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, like my coworker was like, I got you tickets. Let's go to a silent party. I'm like, what's that? And she's like, you go. It's a talk about it, man.
Yeah. Okay. So a silent party, pretty much, it's a party where everyone has headphones on. So yeah, so everyone has headphones on, and what's happening with that is, you know, the music is going through just a mixer just like this.
So they don't got no DJ in there.
No, they have DJs, but what's happening is, let's say you have 2 DJs, and each DJ has his channel. So your headphones have also 2 channels. So, and the channels go by color. So if you see someone, let's say red is one channel, blue is another one. So you click on red, you're listening to one DJ. You click on blue, you're listening to the other DJ. So most of the time they use the silent party as like a way for the DJs to see who is going to be, you know, the best DJ.
If you try, you know what I'm saying, go smack. Like, the girl got a headphone on.
Yeah. No,
where do they usually have this party?
Oh, they've had quite a few already in DC.
Yeah.
They've
like,
had.
It looks.
So
lit,
it's like
it's
basically like a battle of the DJs or something. Like
almost, but depending on where you do it, because okay, if you do it like for, let me be politically correct, Anglo-Saxon party, you know, white people. If you do it for them, you know, it's not really a battle. Normally, they'll just have one DJ that will just play, and everybody is listening to the same stuff. Yeah. Like for Caribbeans, they use it for different channels in the sense that, okay, you have one that will play like soca music, one that will play, you know, reggae and dancehall. So if you're feeling like, I just want to listen to soca music, that. And I know not so long ago they had one where, okay, it was one channel hip hop, one channel Caribbean, one channel African. So it gives you that choice.
Some chaos up
in the same part. No, in a sense it is. And that's why, I mean, to me, I just felt, because at some point, I'm not going to lie, I thought about it.
You think that's something that is going to catch on and is going to be here for a while to stay?
I don't know if it'll work well with the international crowd, because we go to a party together.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get lit together.
Yeah.
I don't want to know that you're listening to Wizkid right now. You're listening to Davido. He's listening to, I don't know, Petit Pays or whatever. And we're not in sync.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're trying to pop bottles together and we're not in sync.
Yeah.
You know, so personally, and which is why I personally kind of backed off from that idea, because I actually thought about doing one at some point. But I backed away from it because I was like, yeah, I don't know how well it's going to be for the international crowd. But, you know, the other people, it works for them. You know,
that's a lot of chaos, man. That's a lot of chaos, especially if you got a lot of testosterone in one building and you're playing Lil Wayne, you know, man.
Exactly.
After people, and then somebody's listening to some Jay-Z track, and then you're just jumping all over the place, and this person's just sitting there nodding his head.
Listening
and
to
then you step on his shoes. It's like, bro, what you doing?
You drop some names, but who you feeling right now as far as like let's start Afrobeats, you know what I mean?
Afrobeats.
Like what's in your summer playlist right now?
I already know who's like top 3.
Really? You think so? You'd be very surprised, man. You'd be very...
top 3.
I know Wizkid is in there.
No, actually. He's not. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, man. Again,
sounds from the other side. What are your thoughts?
It's okay to me. Listen, like... No. I give him credit. You know, Wizkid definitely pushed the culture with that project. But... is it a project that really touches his core fan base? I don't believe so. You know, I don't believe so. Like, every time I've had this argument with people, no one has been able to pinpoint 3 songs. I'm not even going to say, you know, just 3 songs that are touching his core fan base off of that record.
But that wasn't his aim, though. I don't think that was his aim.
Hence why I said to me that I don't really care for him right now. Because he's the ambassador for Afrobeats right now. His core his you know, aim should always be, let me push Afrobeat to these people that don't really know it yet. And I feel like with this project, he kind of took it to where he's been going for the past couple of songs, you know, with the Come Closer, One Dance, all of those things. It has the island vibe. That's not really African, man.
Well, I mean, I guess he's studied and realized that to get there, for people to pay attention, he has to infuse many things.
Do you really believe that? Do you truly?
Yeah.
Do you say these things? Do you truly believe?
I truly
so you believe
that.
that at this point, after that, Wizkid is gonna come back to where Wizkid was?
Yeah, because people are gonna know who Wizkid is, and then they're gonna research his previous work, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I seen the changes."
Okay.
Leading up to this body of work. So they're going to be there looking forward to wherever he's bringing up next.
I hope so. Because as a DJ that's done quite a few Wizkid shows, even just like on his, like as a performer, as a person, he's changed a lot. And in my eyes, not really for the best. So I hope I'm wrong. So that's one of those things I really hope. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
Shout out to Taffy. Your last name is interesting, but she giving you a shout out on Facebook.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So who's on your, you know, saying like this? I gotta play this record. You know, who's your top? Who you feeling right now?
Afrobeats. Who am I feeling? I like Mr. Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Easy,
respect.
Yeah, I like his music because I feel like, first of all, he came from that's a UK sound. You know, a lot of people are not really hip to UK Afrobeats, and if you guys are not, I really highly think you guys need to be on it.
We got global ears here.
Okay, all right, cool.
I listen to the grime and the everything. Yeah, man.
So
Skepta and them.
Exactly.
Big ups.
You know, so like Mr. Easy brought that to the mainstream, and I appreciate that a lot, you know, because those guys, Jules, UG, Sona, all those guys are the UK guys. Right, exactly. So that sound, that's where that sound came from. So Mr. Easy is one person. MHD, I'm not sure if you're... MHD to me, right, he's someone that, like, it pains me that, you know, French-speaking Africans don't really know him, you know, because I think he's really producing some quality music.
Videos too.
Right.
Videos, yeah.
Quality music, quality videos.
He's ushering a
He puts
crazy
soul
sound.
into his sounds, man. Like if you actually follow the lyrics, man, it's dope.
Exactly.
It is
so
big.
that's number 2 for me, and number 3.
You fast?
No, Davido to me right now, I have to say, I put him over Wizkid right now. But that's just me.
True.
That's just me. I put him over Wizkid because I feel like no matter what, he didn't get away from what, he's the people that put him up there, up there for, and I appreciate that.
I respect that.
He did some things out here and there, but he always said, hey, you guys are my people, I'm going to give you guys something, so that's what he's been doing, and I appreciate that. But no, he's not my number 3. I really got to think about it. Because you said Afrobeats, though.
Yeah. And that's just for the summer, like right now.
Right, okay. I like Adekunle Gold.
Oh.
I like Adekunle.
This guy.
I like Adekunle
This guy
Gold a
would die
lot.
by that guy.
Really?
Right?
I think right now, I think Adekunle Gold is the best African vocalist. There's nobody better than him. So I know music a little bit.
know
right?
music. You know more than me, but
Yeah, vocally speaking, I think Adekunle Gold is that guy right now.
Okay.
If I had to put somebody right under him that I really enjoy, would be my guy. My guys go after him.
Nice.
So
Nice.
but,
Shout out to my guys, just dropping a new video too.
What about the ladies, man? They don't get no love.
I mean, not that they don't get no love, but believe it or not, I don't even listen. My vibe is a really soulful vibe. That's why Adekunle Gold, man, he's that guy to me. People like Brimo, I really, really enjoy their music. Female artist, Tiwa Savage, she's cool to me. I really enjoy Yemi Alade's music.
Love her.
Yeah, Yemi Alade's, I really enjoy her music. But if I really have to sit and really listen to somebody, and I didn't want to talk about this because they're going to say, oh, it's because you're from Cameroon. But Charlotte Dipanda, her catalog is, you talk about soulful music, that's it right there. So.
Speaking of Cameroon, right?
Yeah, I was going to
Speaking of Cameroon, let me check you to
Hold
that
on.
side
Speaking
of
of Cameroon, Claude, I was at that Wizkid concert, right?
What's that?
You say, as the ladies from Kenya, is any ladies from Kenya here? Everybody raised. South Africa here? Raised. Ghana, Nigeria. Claude, I didn't hear you say Cameroon.
Actually, I don't believe I did that. I did West Africa, East Africa,
No,
South Africa.
You
and
did.
then
You
I
did that.
the countries was when I was talking about the jollof rice.
I mean, come on.
I am
that
very,
jollof
no,
rice.
hold on. Trust me, I am very well aware of when I do those things because of these questions exactly.
I was I got a bone to pick with Claude, man.
Nah, ever. And even with that, I have to really think about it all the time because, believe it or not, I'm so blackballed as a DJ here because I'm the outsider. Most DJs here are Nigerian DJs. I don't know if you guys, if you go out, you wouldn't know this.
Yeah.
Other than, my partner, Sam I am, who's from Sierra Leone, but that's still kind of the in crowd. I'm the outsider. I'm from Cameroon. I'm from that French thing, that they don't want to listen to. So whenever my name come up, it's like, oh, here's the French things coming up, So I always have to be mindful I put my people on, believe me. But when I'm up on a stage or whatever, I always have to be mindful of knowing that, okay, I'm not gonna make it about me. I'm gonna make it about Africa, And I always if I'm guilty of something, it's always putting more light to the East and South Africa other than anybody else, because I feel like, especially here in the DMV, nobody really cares for them. Right? East Africa and South Africa.
They have a strong movement. Yo. People don't realize they have a strong movement. Like when he get in my car, I be blasting South African music, yo.
South African music is the best music in Africa right now. I'm sorry.
Man.
And then he introduced me to the East African stuff. What is that guy? The
food poison.
Should have said that. Uganda. Yeah.
He's
dope,
man.
And
dope.
I mean, there's so many,
he got
guys
that
and girls.
vibe, like trumpets and
The music is great, man. I'm telling you, the music coming out of East Africa is so great. But
speaking of music, by the way, you got the creator of 237 exclusive in the studio right now. If you got a smartphone, which everybody does, go download that app on your phone. 237 exclusive radio. You listen to Afrobeats 24/7 at your disposal. Yeah, man.
Going back to Cameroon, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to bring 5 artists out of Cameroon right now to do a show, who would you pick? 5.
Is this question based off of music alone or attitude as well?
Attitude, everything.
Attitude, yeah,
everything.
Everything.
So we gotta let them know, like, yo, we ain't messing with you till you get your attitude straight.
Right. I definitely, Magasco is number 1 to me.
Mm-hmm.
Attitude, talent. Yeah, I think the guy's ready for it. He's ready for the big stage, and I just hope that the people behind him can open those doors for him, push him to a bigger market, because I believe he's ready. The next person might be a little biased, but I think Stanley because
You just open for Davido last night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why do I say Stanley? Because I think whether or not Cameroonians want to admit it these days, Stanley has opened doors for Cameroonian artists in certain places that before people didn't really care for Cameroon.
That's true.
Even if people believe these days, because I'm in the street, so I hear it, that they don't believe that he's giving out quality music these days, but he's still an ambassador to Cameroon music. So it's like, why would you do a classic show in Douala and not have Petit Pays or Bendika or any of those guys? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. So for the sake of that question, yeah, definitely Stanley Eno will be number 2.
So my understanding is you say Stanley Eno for the mere fact that he's an ambassador,
right?
Not because of the music.
No, I didn't say that. I said out there people are still believing that he does not create quality music. And before I said his name, I say I might be a little biased because obviously I hear some of his music that he hasn't even released. And it's quality music to me. I do believe.
I mean,
it's
we
quality
heard the same thing from Oruro when he came in. He was like the stuff he got.
Exactly, and we were in the same room listening to those things.
Okay.
And he actually has some quality music that he hasn't even released out. But for one reason or another, I don't know what's going on that end. So based off of that, yeah.
All right, number 3.
Number 3, I have to give it to Renice. I believe Renice is doing something that a lot of, not just female Cameroonians, but even male Cameroonians are scared to do. Mm-hmm. Her songs hardly sound the same. Today she might be doing something that sounds like We Could See. Tomorrow she might be doing something that sounds like Makosas. Tomorrow she might be doing something that sounds like Afrobeat. And most importantly, her talent is very consistent in those songs.
The voice incredible.
So I really appreciate that with her. Number 4, if you asked me maybe 2 months ago, I would have said Malox. But I no longer put him in that list because I don't respect an artist that, I always believe that whatever you do, don't worry about the next person. Do what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You don't need to drag anybody else into whatever it is. Like, I can have an interview. I'm having an interview here with you guys. I can badmouth so many people, but I understood in life that the energy you put out is the same energy you're going to get in. You know what I mean? So he would have been in my list 2 months ago just on the mere fact of, popularity. He understood that there's a certain song that needs to be put out for the streets of, Cameroon to bounce to. For the young kids, it doesn't need to make sense. It's just like mumble rappers these days. They understood that this is the formula right now. I don't need to be a, 444 Jay-Z because, like, he appeals to the people that have good credits. My people have school loans. They have school loans they got to pay. They need to hear crap. You know what I mean? So I would have put him on that list, but no longer. No. So Number 4, I have to put Jovi, even though I've heard so much. And not just hearing, but just kind of seeing and watching him and wondering, Jovi, what is the reason behind you being in Cameroon and not wanting to get out of Cameroon with the talent that you have? Right. You know, Jovi is, you know, in a different space.
Yo, yeah. When I first heard Jovi, I was like, I didn't think, like, in my mind, I didn't know, like, he was in Cameroon. I thought it was somebody that was here rapping like that.
Yeah.
And when I found out his whole backstory, where I was so amazed. I was like, man, God is good.
And him as an artist, he has to understand it's no longer about him. He has a responsibility to his people to make sure that his voice is heard. Because if they hear his voice, they're hearing the voice of, you know, New Bell, Dado, Aqua. You're
empowering the little ones.
Right.
Like, they like, man, we could really do this music thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Stimulate the economy too. Shoot.
Yep.
Right. So, yeah, like, number 5 is. Can I do a tie for number 5?
Sure, go for it.
All right, number 5, it has to be Mr. Leo and Loco.
Okay.
You know,
because,
yeah,
you win there.
Yeah, Mr. Leo and Loco, because I feel like they are the voice of R&B in Cameroon right now. You know what I mean? Like, hands down. Like, I had to put them on number 5 just because of the catalog. They don't have enough, in my opinion, yet. You know what I mean? Like,
to hold it like
a full show on your own. You know what I mean? They don't have enough.
I think Loco do, though.
Really?
Yeah.
You think he has enough material to hold him?
Just that one album he had.
Sky Zoo, nah.
I don't know. I don't know, bro.
I was feeling that album.
I think you're coming as a fan right now. This is a fan opinion right now.
He can do a bunch of his features and hooks and he'll hold it. But
yeah. And believe me, I'm a fan as well. But I have to be realistic. You know. So
let's switch it up a little bit.
Let's
switch it up a little bit. You're coming up with a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the documentary pretty much is going to be about my life, man. You know, my life. Part of it is a very minimal part of it is going to be about my life. Everything, you know, a lot of the things I talked about here and some that I didn't really talk about. But the majority of it is going to be about the Afrobeat movement. You know, not just Afrobeat, the Afro sound, which is sounds from Africa. You know what I mean? Like the Kwaito, the house, the coupe de Calais, you know, the zouk, whatever. Anything that comes out of Africa, you know, I want to, because I don't think that it's a light that's really being shed out there. And me being a DJ that has traveled a lot, I feel like the DMV, in my opinion, is, if you can succeed nightlife here in the DMV, you can succeed nightlife anywhere in the world.
Fact.
Whether a DJ, whether a promoter, event planner, if you can succeed here in the DMV, you can succeed anywhere. Because I've gone places where, you know, no shade. I walk in, they say, oh, this is supposed to be the best, whatever. And you look back at what's happening here in the DMV, you're like, it doesn't even compare.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't compare at all. So that's one of the things that I'm doing with that documentary.
So who you working with on the documentary as far as like shooting and things like that?
What do you mean? Like
who? Like, is it a film?
Yeah, it's a film.
Yeah. So who are you working with? Who's filming it?
Well, part of TagSoundz, I have some guys that do, the branding, the videos, and all that. So pretty much,
when can people expect it? When can we see it?
Well, like I was telling him before we started, I wanted to do it prior to maybe earlier this month or so, but something in me was just like, I need more. I need more. You know, I just need more. So definitely, I knew that this interview would be something that, you know, would be really good. I can take some shots from this interview because I just knew before the conversation started that it was going to be a great conversation. You know what I mean? So I knew that I can take some stuff from here and be able to put that. And I just know that I have some things lined up, you know, in the near future that I also feel like, you know, I should incorporate in that. Yeah. And, you know, lastly with that, one aspect I haven't really done, you know, is kind of sit down with certain people and, you know, just take their outlook on things with that. So, yeah.
Art takes time, man.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be on the other side of the, you know, the table? Being that you're always interviewing people and now you're being interviewed, you know?
It feels weird. It feels weird. You know, I'm always the one asking the questions and all that. And this time around, I have to answer the questions. I mean, it feels weird, but it's a good feeling because I think when I think about me giving interviews sometimes, some people you interview, you're like, oh my God, this is dragging. You know, so, and I know I'm like, okay, I know how to carry a conversation. Yeah. So I know that, okay, this is going to be good. It's going to be good, right. You know. So, yeah.
Man, Claude, man, thank you for, I almost said DJ Claude.
It's all good. It's all good.
The maniac or Martian?
Yeah, the Martian. The Martian.
Man, I like that name.
What do you have in terms of, like, your goals and, like, future?
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
Future, okay.
You want to, like, you know, Khaled has the thing where he produces
right.
work. Like, is that something
I also do. I gave myself a timeline of next year for that. Mm-hmm. You know, to do a project. I don't really want to. I'm not looking. My project is not really going to be based off of I want to just do music and make money off of it. Mm-hmm. My project is going to be to look for the artists that I know have the talent that people need to hear, you know, and, you know, put them on a track with someone that maybe other people know already and things like that. So that's that project. The bigger picture for me, I want to do an Afrobeat festival similar to Coachella. You know, that's the bigger picture for me. You know, so the day you hear that I did that, know that I'm done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Man,
where's it gonna be? Like,
well,
where's your ideal place, here or like in the continent of Africa?
Well, ideally, obviously, I want to start it here. You know, I want to start it small here, but I've been also in talks with some people in Africa, in, you know, a couple of countries. Yeah. I don't want to really say the countries, but
go ahead.
A couple of countries,
drop a SIT exclusive
to do some things over there, you know, pertaining to that. You know, obviously, I have to reach Nigeria. I know that is, if there's going to be one thing that's probably going to be the hardest thing in my quote-unquote DJ career, is for me to go to Nigeria. As like I previously said, the Cameroonian going to, you know, the place where they believe is the Mecca of things, which I really don't believe that, but whatever, you know. So I need to go there and you know.
That's facts.
Shake some hands, kiss some babies, you know, and make some things happen. But yeah, I definitely also want Europe, man. I have to do that in Europe, you know, because I know you guys have heard of the One Africa Fest.
I was just gonna ask you, you know, two questions to wrap. You know, One Africa Fest. You doing anything with that?
No, I'm not.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I'm not, but I definitely want to work with them. I definitely want to work with them. I covered the first one that they had in New York as media, you know.
It's coming back in New York.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Yeah, it is coming back.
I was about to say, because I went to the one in New York. I feel like they should do one here.
The DMV.
They have to do one here.
Because it will be massive.
Verizon Center.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I want to ask you, like, because I feel like this is probably like the Mecca.
It is not probably. It is.
It is. Because I feel like it could be like a tug of war between here and New York.
There's no tug of war, my brother.
Oh, yeah?
The DMV is it.
Okay.
New York, like, I guarantee you, the lineup they had in New York, they have that lineup here, they're not going to be as successful. Because to the number of Africans in the DMV alone, you know, we're talking, I mean, Africans as a whole, East, West, South. To do something like that, you have to be able to put artists up there that are going to, you know, be able to talk to each of those people. Yeah. You know, the lineup was pretty Nigerian in New York. You should remember that. You know, and with the DMV on top of that, it shouldn't just end with, you know, African. You have to bring in the Caribbean into that, because the DMV, you've never, I don't think you guys, even a baby shower in the DMV, have you ever gone to a baby shower and you didn't hear reggae music?
Nah.
You know, that's not possible, because the Africans in the DMV, we have a certain standard of what partying is to us. So we have to hear these things.
Thanks to you.
Just to, you know, wrap up, last question here. Kid, you know, somebody, man, I don't got no turntables. I really want to do this. They've heard this whole hour long. advice, for somebody who's trying to break the mold right now as far as the DJ?
Well, first and foremost, DJing is 90% music, 10% equipment. You know what I mean? Most people think it's the other way around, but it really isn't. Especially with the way technology is these days. You can get your a nice little controller. You can, I don't know, cut your neighbor's grass for like 2 weeks and get your controller for like $250. You know what I mean? Like, so that's that's the basic. To be a DJ and to really excel as a DJ these days, especially when you have guys like me that when you're coming with me, when you're DJing with me, like, it's not a game. You better bring your A game, because I'm coming A++++. You know what I mean? So we're going to war. So come ready. So, a lot of DJs these days, they just get so comfortable with, I'm just going to play what's hot. You ever walk into a party at 10 o'clock, you hear Davido, if you're like, there's nobody here, why are you playing that? Or the biggest thing that happens these days is that you hear the same song like 3-4 times at the same party. And that's what separates a good DJ from a bad DJ. So if you want to be a DJ, a good DJ, learn your music, not just today's music. Find out what were your older brothers in, 2005, 6, 7. What were they partying to during the summer? Those summer hits, you play them in the beginning of a party, or at a certain point of a party, they still gonna rock to it. Till today, we still play, things like DMX, y'all gonna make me lose my. That's people still rock with it. Just this past Wednesday at Rose Bar, I was playing, Nelly, Diddy, Shake Your Tail Feather. It was still rocking to it, but it's because people have just gotten into this thing where DJs are playing the same thing over and over and over. So when you're that one DJ who comes in and you play a song that they haven't heard in a while, it's like, it's nostalgia. They like, yo, I appreciate that. So
that's dope. How can people reach you, man?
Reach me. Instagram, Snapchat, even though I'm not really on it, but IG, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Claude with an E, so CLAU, D as in David, E as in Erica, DI, again, D as in David, Martian, MARTIAN, N as in November. All social platform, or, follow my team, TagSoundz with a Z.
TagSoundz.
Yeah, you follow TagSoundz, you can always get a hold of me.
You heard the man.
DJ Claude, man, you know you gotta go, get a party vibe in this fine Sunday evening. Appreciate you coming on the pod, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Stimulating discussion.
I appreciate
It
you
was
guys.
fun,
Thank
man.
you.
It was fun. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. Y'all are actually doing something really good. I just want to also say that, man.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, yeah. Stuck in the middle.
We out.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Stuck in the Middle podcast. You can stay connected with us online at SITN Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Like us on Facebook at Stuck in the Middle, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at SITN Podcast. And always stay in connection with us at stuckinthemiddle237@gmail.com.